Architects were taught how to master their craft, but not taught how to run or grow a business. This is so true for us creative entrepreneurs and architects who often overlook a crucial aspect in our business: finances. In this episode, I'll share tips that help me achieve financial freedom. I presented this talk called Architect My Life, Architect My Freedom, a creative entrepreneur's guide to financial freedom, at the Sheroes of Architecture Conference produced by Sarah Colada. Listen all the way through to discover how to attain financial resilience and assurance, empowering yourself to face your financial future with confidence rather than fear.
You're listening to the Architect My Life podcast, a show dedicated to empowering women architects and designers to achieve business growth, financial freedom, and health and wellness. I'm Shlachter, your host and CEO of MGS Global Group. Our company provides Revit, ArchiCAD, and CAD drafting services to busy architects and design firm owners. MGS Global started as a part-time gig when I was a new mom, but it has now grown into a thriving business that provides drafting support to creatives, helping everyone maintain a healthy work-life balance. This podcast is proudly presented by MGS Global Group. Now let's dive into this episode.
So this is really what brings me to the next speaker. And I'm very excited to introduce Aya, because me and Aya, we actually worked together for the last 5 months. And I'm helping her with digital transformation strategies. And I'm really in love with the product that she's creating and her mission and her passion that drives her for that product. Aya is an architect from Ohio, and she also runs a business which helps other architecture firms outsource drawing and design. So that already is an alternative business model. And Aya today is going to talk about growing your business and about outsourcing, and will give you some great advice as it comes to running your own business in architecture. So Aya, the stage is yours. Thank you so much.
Hi, everybody. It's Aya Shlachter. So the title of my talk is Architect My Life, Architect My Freedom, a creative entrepreneur's guide to financial freedom. So I'm here to all firm owners and business people in 20 minutes help you create financial freedom. Is that even possible? I'll do my best. So a lot of women and firm owners in general are, we're responsible about car insurance, home insurance, health insurance, especially in America where I'm from. People here in America really have insurance for everything else. But what about insurance for our financial future of our business, right? What happens if we get laid off, or the next recession happens, or COVID happens? So this talk is about addressing all these issues so that we can be secure about our financial future and look forward to our future instead of fearing it. So my goal is to give you 5 tips that has worked for me. And thanks so much for attending and your willingness to learn and listen. So creatives were taught how to master their craft, but not taught how to run or grow a business. A lot of us became accidental business owners, right? We became architects because we had a lot of work from on the side and we started our own business, but we're not trained as entrepreneurs. That's number 1. Number 2, little to no cash flow. It's like feast or famine. We have a lot of work, we have no work, we have a lot of work. And when we have a lot of work, we can't even deliver and we're burnt out. That's number 2. Number 3, a lot of us have no end game. What happens at the end? Are we going to sell the business? How long are we going to do this for? Especially when we start having kids, it becomes so difficult to juggle. And most of creatives in general are transactional thinkers. What does that mean? We just do it day by day. We get jobs and we work on the jobs we fulfill, hoping for the next client to come. But we don't have really long-term planning, right? So I'm very passionate about finance and entrepreneurship, but I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm an architecture graduate from NJIT and also have a master's in architecture and urban design. But my passion really is entrepreneurship. So I'll just give you a brief background. When I started early in my career, my first year as a consultant, I landed all these major clients like Coach, the bag company, Michael Kors. So for the first year, I was taking care of retail clients, major retail clients, and I was so ecstatic. Everything was great. I had work pipeline. That was 2012. And then Amazon happened. So the retail industry died. So the thing is, I was too focused on working on the business that I didn't even have time to do diversification, to find new work. By that time, I already had 15 employees, but my work pipeline was going down. So that was one, right? I was not responsible for finding new work because I was too busy fulfilling new work. But my second is my turning point. What was my turning point? I'm a mom to two young kids, 10 and 14. And years ago, I never talked about this, but I think I want to share so that people are aware. Um, I had an ear infection that almost led to my brain almost ruptured. If I had not gone to the emergency room within 3 hours, I would have died. So I'm lucky to be alive. I was in the hospital for 5 days. My father called me after 5 days and said this. He's like, Aya, what would have happened if, God forbid, you died? Do you have a succession plan for your business? You're doing so well, which I was. I was doing so well that time, making a lot of money with my retail clients. But if I died, I didn't have a succession plan. I didn't have any systems in place. My kids would not have had, money coming in. When I die, my business will die with me. So this is why I created this Architect My Life, Architect My Freedom. I want people to be responsible for their financial future. And also, this whole experience gave me the opportunity to reassess who I am, who I want to be, and what my long-term goals are for myself, for my family, and for the business. So that's my backstory. So I want you, all of you, to answer this question. What is your end goal? Do you have a succession plan? These are the things that will guide you towards your financial freedom in the future. So, why did you start a business? Why did you start a firm? What is the purpose of this? Are you building a legacy? Do you want to have freedom and be your own boss? Do you love entrepreneurship? Is it because you want to make your family proud, your spouse proud? So you need to answer these questions so that you can plan for your future that will help you and lead you towards financial planning, strategic planning, and marketing. And you need to evaluate who you are, how your clients perceive you, what they value about you, so that you have a better understanding of the end goal and your future. So here are my 5 tips of having financial freedom. The first two are self-explanatory. Number one, live within your means. Don't buy a Mercedes Benz if you don't have any work coming in. You'll be surprised. A lot of people, especially here in the US, it's easy to get a credit card. So people are just irresponsible about money and become, complacent about spending it. Number two, invest and save wisely and consistently. This is how I was able to survive COVID. I have 25 employees and I'm serving the retail and hospitality industry. When COVID hit, I had savings worth 6 months of operating expenses. So for firm owners, you need to save for a rainy day. Even if work is slow right now, you have to save a little bit every month, especially when a recession hits. Number three, begin to think positively about wealth, set financial goals, and get quality advice from experts. A lot of us have negative relationship toward wealth because a lot of us growing up were poor or maybe didn't have a lot of money. Our parents were struggling and fighting about money. But, sometimes you need to reassess what wealth means to you. Does wealth mean happiness, great relationships, steady income? You all have a house and food, shelter, clothing. So we need to reassess what wealth means to you, right? But I believe that the key to success is really generosity, and it has been proven in a lot of books. If you give with an open hand, you can receive. This is what my father has told me all the time. You think of money as a gift. You give it and then you receive. If you have an open hand constantly, you can receive. But if you're close-fisted, you can never receive anything. I remember before, every time I got bills from my clients and consultants, I would stress out, right? I'm like, I got to pay all the bills. But think about this. If you don't have bills to pay, it means you have no clients coming in or you have no work. So whenever you have bills to pay, when you have money going out, you have to thank, the universe for all the work. I came across this guy called Ken Honda. He's a Japanese financial consultant and coach. He has this thing called arigato in and arigato out, meaning when he gets money, he thanks the universe for the money coming in. And then when he gives money, he also thanks the universe. So It's all good. I mean, we get paid to serve, not to sell. So we should welcome money and we should give money because we're serving people. We're not selling. We have a product to serve. So that's my thought. Right now, I've changed my mindset. When I have bills to pay, I say arigato in. And when I receive, arigato out, or the other way around. So that's the third one. Think positively about money, and generosity is the key to success. When you give money, it means you'll be receiving more. Remember that. Next one, set financial goals and achieve them. And backward action planning. What does that mean? What I've been doing for the last 5 years, and every architect and firm owner should do this, you need to set financial goals for your business. So let me give you an example. In the beginning of the year, in January, if you're a firm owner, you need to write down what you expect to make by end of the year. So let's say you want to make 100,000 more by end of the year. What you do is your backwards action plan. So if you want to make 100,000 more by end of the year, what do you have to do in Q1? Q1, you need to maybe start your ad campaign, start writing blogs, start networking. Q2, you need to meet more people, sponsor events, and then you put a number in Q2, 20,000. Just write it in your notebook, $20,000, right? For Q2. Again, you do all this in the beginning of the year. And then Q3, land 2 clients, that's 60,000. Just write this down, because if you don't have goals, I mean, if you don't have financial goals, it doesn't make sense for a business not to have financial goals. But this is so common in a lot of creatives. We don't have goals. We're transactional. Clients come in, we have money, yay. But that shouldn't be the case. You need to write down how much you want at the end of the year and work backwards and say, by Q1, I'm going to make 20K from this income source, from Q2, Q3. I assure you guys, you will really get the money, because I've been doing this for the last 3 years, and every year I've put 30% increase and I've made it. But then obviously you need to work on your action plan. But the most important thing about this is finding an accountability partner or business partner. So you share this spreadsheet or your notebook with your partner and meet every 3 months and say, okay, have you made your 100,000 yet? Okay, we got to work faster, harder, strategically. So again, this is really important. Set financial goals and achieve them. Last, get quality advice from experts. It's who, not how. This is a book by Dan Sullivan. Actually, it's who, not how. We architects don't know how to do a lot of things. So we're good designers, but I don't like to manage money. I don't know how to ask for money. I don't know how to up my contract. If a client says, can you deliver tomorrow? I'll probably say yes, even though I can't. Especially women, it's easier for people to renegotiate our contracts or push our deadlines. But with this concept of who, not how, recently I hired a virtual CFO to help me assist with my books and finances. I didn't like that. I didn't like her looking at my finances, but it was necessary. You need to take care of your books. You don't want to have a lot of debt by the end of the year. So my financial virtual CFO helped me plan everything. She gave me like strategies on how much marketing I need to spend per year. An average is 8 to 12% of your gross income. So marketing is very important when you want to grow a business. For people who don't market and you want to grow your business, forget about it. Unless you're extremely lucky and you have a consistent pipeline, you have to continue to market your services and your firm. So other consultants in my team or mentors are, I have a virtual CFO. I have a business consultant, which is interesting. My business consultant is not an architect. My business consultant is a person who helps me find my blind spots. He's an investor and I'm an expert in technology. Why do I hire somebody like that to help me? Because he knows what's going on in the stock market. He knows what's going to crash and what's up and coming. So don't have business consultants that are architects. Have people who know what's going on outside of the world of architecture. So you're ahead of the game. I also have a business manager. He's helped me really up my contracts, write my contracts. Again, these are not people who work full time. They're my consultants that can help me get my rates higher or negotiate contracts or renegotiate my pricing strategy, because I don't know how to do this. So I have people that help me support my business. A marketing strategist is also important because if you don't know your strategy, you can never implement your marketing efforts. So that's really important. Again, who, not how. To build a successful financial business, you need to have mentors, friends, consultants in your team. So I have a case study about this who, not how Bjarke Ingels group. I'm sure you know this, the case study, the big group. It's who, not how. In 2008, Ingalls hired Sheila to be the CFO, the Chief Financial Officer. They were actually struggling in 2008. They had 45 employees, but were kind of like still financially struggling to get paid. But when they hired Sheila, who has no architecture background, guys, which is why I love talking about her, because she has no architecture background, and yet she's a CEO of this company and a partner of this company. She managed to turn the company around. Now, in 2021, they have over 500 employees and serving clients worldwide. Again, Ingalls hired Sheila to help them with operations, business development, optimizing cash flow, executing strategic priorities, collecting money, negotiating contracts, and everything like that. So this company is already a major company, right? In 2008, but you would not have known that. But now they've exploded. So Sheila is the reason why big became big. Speaking of big, I'm excited to announce that I've launched this product called Go Bigger and Better. If you're interested, a lot of women ask me how I landed all my big contracts. So please find me on architectmylife.online. It's not ready yet, but it will be ready in July. So if you're interested in learning how to get the bigger contracts and bigger clients, go to architectmylife.online. And please find me in Facebook. I have a group called Architect My Life, and then Instagram, Architect My Life Movement.
Brilliant. Thanks for that. That's amazing. Right. If you've got any questions in the audience, can you ask them in the Q&A section? And if we've got any VIPs, we're happy to bring you on stage if you've got any questions. So just put your hands up. So over to you, Sarah.
Sure. Thank you so much for the presentation. I really loved it. I'm just going to read some of the chats here because I think they're great. We don't learn how to be business owners in school. We learn how to be designers, but what's next? Sheila is insane and she asked for a lot of money and they gave it to her. So see, this is amazing. Great example, Aya. Thank you so much. And I really recommend for all of you ladies also to check Architect My Life on Facebook and join Aya's groups. She's doing some training there as well. And it's absolutely lovely. And I'm really looking forward also to the course that she's promoting and launching soon.
That's brilliant. Thank you. Thanks for coming on, Aya, and thanks for being part of this amazing group of people. I know there's been a lot of people who've been like, oh my God, Aya's amazing. I want to come on, I want to come and listen. So that's just thank you. And
thank you so much.
We've got a question. Any recommendations for finding the right consultants or mentors?
You have to build relationships in your area, but I do have recommendations, and feel free to send me a chat later on because that's a long conversation, but I do have recommendations. So find me in Architect My Life Facebook group. I'll answer all your questions there. I don't put my last name in because it's so hard to spell. So just find me on Architect My Life Facebook group.
Fabulous. Thank you so much.
And we've had a question from Michelle Hotel, aka Archimum. If you could only hire one consultant, which one should you have?
Wow, that's a great question. Well, the first consultant that I hired was my business manager. He helped me level up the playing field because I work with major clients. And when you work with major clients, you can't go to meetings by yourself. You need a team. So he came with me to all my meetings. He wrote all the contracts. He's my business manager. I think a business manager who knows how to negotiate contracts. Yep.
Is he an architect?
No, none of my consultants are architects, especially the business consultants. So, yeah.
So we've had a question from Elena. What drove you to become a business owner? And you're totally amazing at it.
Thank you so much. When I was young, at 10 years old, I knew I was going to be a business owner, either selling cupcakes, having a dress shop. I really liked entrepreneurship, but because I was a creative, I wanted to be a fashion designer, but my father said, become an architect and then you can do fashion on the side. So entrepreneurship is my passion. Yeah.
So we've had another question from Mani Farhadi. What if your consultants have competing interests and they're working with other architects?
So my consultants, we do a non-compete. So they don't have the same type of clientele. But then if he wants to go to another state, that's fine, but we have a non-compete. But I can share with you all that if you ask me more in Architect My Life Facebook group.
Okay.
Anything else?
Nothing coming through the Q&A. We've had lots of thank yous.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Architect My Life, a podcast brought to you by MGS Global Group. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you'd like to add to the conversation through your own experiences, I encourage you to be a guest in one of our upcoming episodes. Visit architectmylife.com to apply and learn how. I firmly believe that a strong community drives change and fosters success. If you'd like to be part of this community, join the All-Women Architect My Life Facebook group. Please take a moment to review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Thanks again for listening. I'm Aya Shlachter. Until next time.